Hello, friends. Welcome to our informational series. Today, we are going to talk about insolvency and liquidation of corporate persons. To start with, there are a few important concepts one must keep in mind. Insolvency is a state or a situation wherein corporate person is not able to pay back its debts. Resolution process is an attempt to revive the corporate person out of the insolvency if possible. Liquidation is a process a corporate person undergoes wherein all assets are sold and the money recovered is distributed amongst its creditors in predetermined manner. Dissolution is an act of formally ending a corporate person. Are we done? Well, not. We need to know what is a corporate person. In law, a person is not just a human but also includes certain legal personalities. Definition may vary from law to law. However, as per IBC, corporate person means a company or a limited liability partnership but does not include any financial service provider. Now that we've understood the basic definitions, let's move forward and know the parties involved in insolvency or liquidation. Financial creditor is a legal person who has given any financial debt or to whom such debt has been subsequently assigned. Now, even allottees of residential projects are also considered financial creditors, albeit unsecured. However, 10% or 100 allottees, whichever is lower, must file the application. Operational creditors are the person to whom operational debt is owed or has been legally transferred. Employees, suppliers, etc. are examples of operational creditors. Corporate debtor is a corporate person who owns any debt. Interim resolution professional or liquidator is an insolvency professional enrolled under the IBC Act. Based on the stage and the type of proceeding, he takes different names. Further, it could be one person who takes all roles at different times, or they could be different persons. Resolution applicant is a person who submits a resolution plan, that is, a plan to revive insolvent corporate person to enable it to pay back its debts. Let us see overview of insolvency resolution and liquidation process. The insolvency process starts with default. A default is an act of not paying debt which has fallen due either in whole or part. Default under IBC gives a cause of action to the financial creditor, operational debtor, as well as the corporate debtor itself to approach National Company Law Tribunal or NCLT as it is called to initiate a insolvency proceedings. Underlying presumption in IBC is that if a default has occurred, it means that corporate debtor is in bad shape and needs help to come back on its track to be able to pay back its dues. Corporate insolvency process or CIRP as it is known is a proceeding aimed at helping the corporate debtor to come up to shape to repay its debts. This is done by appointing an insolvency professional who takes over the reins of the corporate debtor. In case the corporate debtor can be revived through CIRP and repay its debts, the proceedings are completed and corporate debtor gets back the reins to resume its normal operation. However, if the revival is not possible or there are subsequent defaults, corporate debtor is moved towards liquidation. The assets of company are sold and the monies recovered are used to pay back the debts in specific order. Corporate debtor is then finally dissolved. Now that we understand the overall insolvency and liquidation process, let us try and understand each of them in some detail. Once a default occurs, depending on who is affected, financial creditor, operational creditor, or the corporate debtor can initiate insolvency proceedings by filing a petition. The threshold for default currently is 1 crore. In case of allottees of housing project, at least 100 or 10% of the project allottees, whichever is minimum, must file the application together. Operational creditors are, however, required to give a prior notice before filing such application. Application is heard by NCLT and both applicants and defendants are given opportunity, and if NCLT finds it fit, it will admit the application and order CIRP. Along with admission, insolvency professional called IRP is appointed who then publishes the CIRP in a newspaper and invites all creditors to send in the details of their claims. In parallel, a moratorium on civil proceedings and fresh cases is also imposed. The IRP, based on the claims received, verifies and forms a committee of creditors who then appoint resolution professional to take the things forward. An information memorandum is prepared based on the situation of the corporate debtor, and resolution plans are invited to revive the corporate debtor. The resolution plans received are placed before the committee of creditors, who then are free to adopt or reject any of them. Resolution plan, once approved by committee of creditors, is placed before NCLT, which, if it approves, becomes implementable and the corporate debtor proceeds as per the plan. The process of CIRP is kept under monitor. At the end of the process, if all the debts have been paid back, the insolvency is over and the reins of the corporate debtor are handed back to the management of the corporate person. Let us now move to the liquidation process. There can be a situation where resolution plan could not be approved, or where the resolution plan failed during the implementation, or there could be some other factors that the resolution plan received were not feasible because the industry was dying or for any other reasons. In such situations, the resolution professional approaches the NCLT, which then, based on the facts of the case, can order liquidation. With the order of liquidation, a liquidator is appointed. Usually, the resolution professional now becomes the liquidator. Publication is again made. Liquidator appoints two valuers to evaluate the value of the assets. In case the value of the assets are not sufficient even to pay the liquidation cost, early dissolution may be done. Based on the valuation, bids are invited, and usually Swiss challenge method of bidding is used to sell the assets. The monies collected are distributed as per the waterfall model defined in the Act. Finally, a report is submitted to NCLT, which then orders dissolution of the firm. So this is pretty much the wrap up of concept of insolvency and liquidation of corporate person. Hope we've been able to clarify your doubts. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.